Hello YouTube, this is Corbin22 here, back with another 100-point squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing Miniatures. For tonight's build, I've chosen two more Scum ships. I've chosen a Scum Y-Wing and a Fire Spray 31, both piloted by Kavil and Kath Scarlet. And the emphasis behind this build is, well, it's more with these guys, it's more advantageous to attack outside your firing arc or with your auxiliary firing arc, because they both gain one additional attack dice if they're attacking from outside their firing arc. And with that set up, and to add to those, I've given them upgrades to help kind of, add even more opportunities for them to attack outside their firing arc. Granted, they might be only one shots, but either way, it's either way, the focus behind the build is it's more with these guys. It's more advantageous to attack all around rather than in front. So that being said, let's look at the build itself. So again, it's two ships, a Scum Y-Wing piloted by Scum Y-Wing and a Scum Fire Spray 31. We'll get right into it. Start with the smaller ship, and that is piloted by Kavil. Kavil has a pilot skill of 7. He flies the Koyansar BTL S3 Y-Wing attack starfighter. He has an attack value of 2, an agility value of 1, a hull value of 5, and a shield value of 3. He's taking on the focus and lock-on actions. He costs 24 squadron points and is able to take on an elite pilot skill, a turret, 2 warheads, and a salvaged astromech. His ability states, when attacking a ship outside your firing arc, roll 1 additional attack die. So yeah, like I said, Kavil gets an additional attack dice if he's attacking outside his firing arc. So a title card like the BTL A4 would be pretty counterproductive to put on him, because he'll get more of an attack bonus if he's attacking outside his firing arc. So better to let him have the turret option, the swinging turret or the swiveling turret, rather than keeping it locked in a forward firing position. His upgrades for his elite pilot skill, I've gone with something that might put him in potential danger, but it'll also add to his ability whether he's attacking outside or not, and that is expose. I believe this came with the VT49, and it's a card that must be used during the action phase, and it states, until the end of the round, increase your primary weapon value by 1 and decrease your agility value by 1. So with expose, that means Kavil's primary weapon value will go up by 1, but his agility will also go down to 0 as well. So that means you will not, if you use this, you will not be able to roll any attack defense dice. But with that being said, Kavil has abysmal Kavil really has an abysmal agility value at all. I mean, he only has 1, and chances of you avoiding anything with only 1 dice are pretty yeah. The only way you could properly avoid is if you keep this guy at range 3, which is almost impossible because all of his weapons require him to get close. Well, most of them anyway. But yeah, expose adds 1 additional attack dice to his attack value for the combat for the round, and then of course you have to keep using expose again in order to keep your attack value at 3. Now, for his turret, I've gone with an Autoblaster turret, which has an attack value of 2. It can only be used at range 1, and it states, attack one ship, even a ship outside your firing arc. Your hit results cannot be cancelled by defense dice. The defender may cancel critical hit results before hit results. So the Autoblaster turret, it's similar to that of the Autoblaster that can be equipped to the B-Wing, the YT-1300, or YT-2400, sorry, and the Fire Spray 31s. The Autoblaster turret makes is that your hit results cannot be canceled by defense dice. The only way you can cancel them is through evade tokens. Of course, and the only problem with this is that it has an attack value of 2 and must be used at close range. However, again, Kavil's ability makes it so that if he's attacking any ship outside his firing arc, its weapon value he gets to roll 1 additional attack dice. So that means if he's flanking someone from the right and they're not in his firing arc, then his Autoblaster turret's attack value goes up to 3. So, yeah, it makes it a bit more worth getting in there and exposing yourself to enemy fire. For long-range capabilities, I've gone with Proton Torpedoes, which have an attack value of 4 and can be used at range 2 to 3, so they're good for starting out. It says, spend your target lock and discard this card to perform this attack. You may change one of your focus results to a critical result. So good for dealing critical damage early on. I probably recommend you use the torpedoes almost right away with Kavil in order before you rush in and take advantage of his effect. For his second warhead, I've chosen extra munitions, which grants him an extra proton torpedo at half the cost, essentially. And for his salvage astromech, I've gone with R4B11. R4B11 states, when attacking, if you have a target lock on the defender, you may spend that target lock to choose any or all the defense dice. The defender must reroll the chosen defense dice. So R4B11 is pretty much the opposite of an R7 astromech, because R4B11 it takes effect when you're attacking, and if you have a target lock, you can spend it to make the defender reroll any or all of its defense dice. The R7 astromech has a similar effect, but it applies when you're defending, and you can choose and spend your target lock to reroll any or all of your opponent's attacking dice, and then hopefully you'll get a more favorable result. So all of these cards here help pretty much guarantee Kavil will gain a hit. Well, not guarantee, but he'll have a better chance of getting a hit, especially with Expose for his primary weapon and for his ability for his Autoblaster turret. Now I move on to the big ship here. And that is piloted by Kath Scarlet. Kath Scarlet has a pilot skill of 7 as well. She flies the Fire Spray 31 patrol craft. She has an attack value of 3, agility value of 2, a hull value of 6, and a shield value of 4. She can take on the focused, lock-on, and evade actions. She costs 38 squadron points. And she's able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade, a cannon, a bomb, a crew slot, a missile, and an illicit upgrade. Her ability states, when attacking a ship inside your auxiliary firing arc, roll 1 additional attack die. So with Kath, it's more advantageous for her to zoom past and attack from behind her in her auxiliary firing arc, because she'll get 1 additional attack dice. So that means if she's attacking from behind, she will get 4 attack dice as opposed to 3 when attacking with her primary weapon. To add even more sting to her, I've given her lots of upgrades to help her out. Her elite pilot skill is, well, it was going to say ruthlessness, but then I just realized it's an imperial only. So I'll have to think about that for a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I just had to make a small adjustment because I just realized that the elite pilot skill I gave to Kath is only available for the Imperial faction, and she's a Scum and Villainy, so it wouldn't work. So instead of giving her ruthlessness, I've gone with Predator. And Predator states, when attacking, you may reroll 1 attack die. If the defender's pilot skill value is 2 or low, you may instead reroll up to 2 attack dice. So Predator helps guarantee, or helps score better hits on your opponent. Which is really useful if you're using Kath's ability and attacking with your a ship inside your auxiliary firing arc, because you'll get that extra attack dice. And if the enemy's pilot skill value is 2 or lower, you'll get 2 rerolls, which is good. For long distance capabilities, I've given her a heavy laser cannon, which has an attack value of 4 and can be used at range 2 to 3, which states, attack 1 ship. Immediately after rolling your attack dice, you must change all of your critical hit results to hit results. Now, this only applies on your first roll. So if you on your initial roll, if you score any criticals, you have to convert them to hits. However, if you have a target lock or you reroll with Predator and you score criticals, those stay. Heavy laser cannon's cancellation of criticals only applies on the initial roll. So combining heavy laser cannon with the target lock and Predator will help you keep those criticals when attacking with the heavy laser cannon. For her bomb, I've chosen Proton bombs, which states, when you reveal your maneuver dial, you may discard this card to drop 1 proton bomb token, then the token detonates at the end of the activation phase. Proton bombs state that once it explodes, any ship at range 1 of it immediately suffers 1 face-up damage, and then the bomb token is discarded from the field. So that means even if the enemy is shielded, proton bombs will guarantee you a critical, much like the advanced homing missile. The only difference being is that the bomb is more widespread, and the risk being is that it affects your ships as well as your opponents. So you got to be really careful when dropping a bomb. For her crew slot, I've chosen Greedo, which states, the first time you attack each round and the first time you defend each round, the first damage card dealt is always face up. So this is a double-edged sword. It is a cheap cost, which is good, and for every damage card, every first damage card you deal onto the opponent is always a critical. However, this also works against you, because if you have no shields and the first damage cards, if you have no shields and you take damage, the first damage card you take will always be a face-up critical. So with Greedo, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Because you get to score first. Your first hit is a critical, but the enemy's first hit will also be a critical as well. So just keep that in mind when you're using Greedo. For extra long-range capabilities, I've chosen Concussion missiles, which have an attack value 4 and can be used at range 2 to 3, similar to the Proton Torpedoes. It states, spend your target lock and discard this card to perform this attack. You may change one of your blank results to a hit result. So Concussion missiles have a bit of a lesser effect than the Protons. The Proton Torpedoes let you change a focus to a critical. The Concussion missile lets you change one of your blank to a hit. Granted, you're probably going to be getting more blank results than focus results. So Concussion missiles they're good. They're a good substitute if you feel your luck is bad, like a certain someone else I know. And for her illicit upgrade, which also takes advantage of her which also could help take advantage of her ability, is a Hotshot Blaster, which has an attack value 3 and can be used at range 1 to 2. And it states, hang on, discard this card to attack one ship, even a ship outside your firing arc. So the Hotshot Blaster, you can use it within both your forward and auxiliary firing arcs, but this can also be used outside your firing arc as well. The downside is, it is an attack, but the downside is it's a one-shot. Once it's used, you flip it face over, and you can't use it again until the next game. Other than that, this pretty much gives Kath some all-around coverage for that one turn. So yeah, this is, I'm going to call my, I would say covering fire, but it really isn't because, let's see, the ships can attack forward and behind and all around them. How about I'm going to call this one my all-around assault build. And the main advantage of this is being able to, it's more advantageous to attack outside their firing arcs, or in Kath's case, her auxiliary firing arc, because both of them will get one additional attack dice when attacking a ship outside their firing arc. It applies more to this applies to Kavil more when he's using his turret, because the Autoblaster turret has an attack value of 2 and can be used at range 1. If Kavil manages to get up close and is outside their firing arc, he can use his turret, which will get a boost in attack thanks to his ability. And for a boost in attack in his regular weapons, he has Expose. And of course, he has Proton Torpedoes and extra munitions for extra range when he's attacking. And then he has R4, B11 to help him score hits better as long as he has a target lock. For Kath, Predator also helps with her ability, along with Greedo and Hotshot Blaster. Heavy laser cannons and concussion missiles are more meant for forward attacks. And the proton bombs are good for dealing widespread damage anytime you want in the game. And also Greedo will help you still score criticals as well, but Greedo will also help you score that first critical if you're attacking an enemy that's unshielded. As for disadvantages, Kavil has a low agility value. He has lots of shield and he has lots of hull and decent shields. However, Expose, if you are to use Expose on him, be careful because that leaves you without any agility value. Sure, you will have one extra primary weapon value, so you'll have free attack, but you'll have 0 agility. So that means you will not be able to roll any attack. You'll basically will be treated as a VT-49 Decimator, which has no attack value. The Autoblaster turret must be close in order to use it, so range 1, so which even more danger. R4 or B11, the only disadvantage is you have to have a target lock. Other than that, that's pretty much it. For Kath, Greedo is her biggest weakness, because while it also affects her targets, it also affects her as well. Because if she's unshielded and the enemy scores a hit on her, that first hit will be a critical onto her as well. Proton bombs are also a bit of a risk because they affect your ships as well as your enemies, so bear that in mind if you decide to drop them. The heavy laser cannon and concussion missiles must be used at range 2 to 3, so they're more meant for long-range capabilities. And the Hotshot Blaster, while it can be used outside your firing arc, if you want to take full advantage of Kath's ability, you want to fire it within her auxiliary firing arc. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have. That's pretty much all there is going for it. So yeah, this is my all-around assault build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build for any competitive or casual play, or you can tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corpin22, signing off.